warroomsports.com. Get that mobile app.
What's going on, good people out there? Football fans, welcome to another edition of Field Vision, brought to you by War Room Sports in conjunction with the Sports Kings. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Dev. I got a full round table with me right now. I got the homie from War Room Sports, B. Austin. What's up, B?
Yo, I mean, if you spit on me, I'm going to knock you the F out. I'm not going to smack you.
We got Frank from Sports Kings.
Yeah, I just want to shout out Antonio Brown. I might take him over Victor Cruz after he's given like the Shawn Michaels Sweet Chin music to punters. Like, I see you.
Jimmy the Blueprint, War Room Sports. What's up, King?
I just want to say, when you have a quarterback like Jay Cutler,
always. We got the homie Fred of Sports Talk Florida. What's up, Fred?
Purdue? Man, my Patriots couldn't stop a soul. Could not stop a soul.
Why are you wearing that damn hat?
Because
What you know about that No Shot Marino work?
Yo, No Shot's never even been that good. Yo, he put up career numbers on y'all.
No Shot Marino hasn't been that good since Georgia.
All right, we got the homie Hutch Montana from OBR. What's going on, brother?
Tony, brother.
What's going on? Let's get it.
All right. Let's talk some week one, and a week that was marred by the whole Ray Rice scandal. It's come back around with the, with the videotape and everything, but that's not what we're here to talk about, man. We want to talk some actual football. So I'm going to get some answers from you fellas, because there was a few upsets this week. There were a few games that weren't upsets, but they might not have gone, how we thought they were going to go. So let's start off with the first game of the week, the Thursday nighter, the Seahawks and the Pack. Props to you, Fred, because Fred actually was the only one here that called this game as a Seahawks blowout. The Seahawks, the defending champion Seahawks, 36, the Packers 16 on Thursday Night Football to start the season when everybody was on edge and couldn't wait, and the game wasn't really that good. Question to you fellas, are the Seahawks that damn good, or did a lot of us oversell the Green Bay Packers?
Can I start off with this one?
Before Fred even goes, go ahead, Fred.
No. First off, the Seahawks the Seahawks are who we thought they were. Same good team, really good team. Russell Wilson looked good. The running game looked good. The defense was just great. Again, like I said in our predictions last week, the Packers are a bit overrated, and their offense is it's Aaron Rodgers to Jordy Nelson or bust. And if Eddie Lacy can stay healthy, good luck. Otherwise, it's gonna be tough sledding because that defense is not gonna be able to stop.
Were you impressed with how Richard Sherman shut down Boykin the whole game? He locked him up.
For me, what's more impressive is the fact that you didn't throw to him his side at all. It's just like
it's like receivers over there. Why would you?
I have a whole different.
I respect it.
I watch every snap in that game. I think that Seattle is definitely, they're the champs, for Christ's sakes. I mean, they're a great team, and it looks like Russell Wilson is getting more confidence. But I don't think Green Bay looked as bad as Fred is making them out to be. They did get killed, but at the end of the day,
some major injuries.
They had some major injuries, and they had a lot of penalties. They had a lot of penalties at the worst, like inopportune times that stalled drives. They made a lot of discipline issues for the first week, and playing in that stadium. The fact of the matter is, nobody picked Green Bay to win the game. We all picked Seattle. Picked them by that margin. And the fact of the matter is, without some of those penalties, the game would have been a lot closer. They made some crucial mistakes in the game. I don't think they're going to be as bad as Fred is leading out to be. I mean, their defense isn't that great, but they play in a division with Minnesota, Detroit, and Chicago. So it's not like they're playing against a heavyweight defense. And,
I will say that with the injuries that they sustained on the offensive line are going to be huge. Derek Sherrod got worked.
But again, they're playing Seattle. They don't play Seattle every week. I mean, they're playing the champs.
Yeah, I completely agree with Jimmy. I don't think that the Packers are nearly as bad as Fred's making them out to be. I mean, I don't think anybody expected them to go on a Thursday night when you got all the emotion of the, the Super Bowl, the banner being put out and, the crowd going crazy. Like, I don't think anybody really expected the Packers to win. Everybody expected Seattle to come out, and they look great. I mean, like Jimmy said, they're the champs. But I think the Packers will be just fine. I think we make way too much out of Week 1 in general, but especially that first game on Thursday night.
Show was about.
And, I mean, the home team has such an advantage in that first game that it would have been a pretty big upset for me if the Packers would have went in and beat the Seahawks. So I don't put nearly as much weight into it as Fred's saying. I would not call the Packers overrated at all yet.
Frank, but you're putting a whole lot of variables and factors in there that don't even need to be mentioned. First of all, I don't think it matters that you had the whole Super Bowl thing in the banner. The Seahawks don't lose at home anyway.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Forget all the other hoopla. They don't lose at home anyway. And my thing, I didn't think that they would get blown out the way they did, but I'm also, I don't know if they're overrated, but I know I didn't oversell them because I went out on a limb and I didn't even pick them to win the division anyway. So, we'll see how that plays out, especially with the injuries. B. Austin, what were you about to say?
I just, I have to echo almost everybody else's sentiment. Jimmy, it's a matter of discipline, so you have to assume that with the coaching staff that they have and the professionals that they have, that they'll get the discipline together and they'll be a better team come week 6, come week 8, come week 12. They're still a potential playoff team. I like Clay Matthews if he can stay healthy off the edge with Peppers on the other side. They say Peppers is kind of rejuvenated because he has the opportunity to play linebacker, and he always wanted to lift his hand up out the dirt. So, I mean, that's cool. Their defense is troubling because outside of Sam Shields in that secondary, I don't see anyone out there that can do anything. I mean, at least at some point in time, they had Chuck Woodson out there grabbing and holding and getting picks out of it. I mean, no knock to him. That's what Ty Law made his whole Hall of Fame career off of. So I'm not mad at it. But now that he's gone, it's like their secondary is putrid. And to speak to Seattle, man, salute to the champs. But those dudes, I don't know if y'all have seen a movie called Predator. They got a lot of them on that defensive side of the ball, man.
My question that
I saw Planet of the Apes, though.
The Alien or the BBR movie?
The question I would like to pose is: did Seattle's defense get better even without having a Brandon Browner and a couple other guys in that secondary?
I can't tell, man. I can't even tell. They're that good, and I don't think Browner matters as much as people think Browner matters.
What we have to still remember, even though the Seahawks played the way that they played, we still have to remember it's week 1. They go out next week and get smacked.
Yes.
And then everybody's going to panic the other way. Oh, my God, the Seahawks are done.
Everybody, but not me, I think.
But the one thing I do want to say is you could tell that Russell Wilson has a lot more confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If he continues to grow and get better, it's going to be scary.
Can I toss this out there with Russell Wilson? He has the potential to be. I'm not even going to get into that. He has the potential to be what we know he has the potential to be. But I also see
that E-word.
I think that he could go the route of Drew Brees. Like I can see it in him based on the decision making. Now he can't play scary because Drew Brees doesn't play scary. He will throw it up there and risk the interception and allow his receivers to make a play. But Russell Wilson makes decent decisions outside of being a little bit too conservative. So now as the confidence comes around, I see some Drew Brees with Leo.
As Bielsa, as they say in boxing, I think he might let the hands go this season. I mean, he got that defense. You make a mistake, that thing gonna hold you down.
And you got a chip already.
Yeah. So you got that.
He's playing with house money at this point.
Yeah, you can make.
But you know what though? It's like I always said last season on the show. If you remember when he got drafted, Mel Kiper said, if he was a little bit taller, he'd have been the first pick of the draft, bar none. He said if he was a little bit taller, he'd be a better quarterback than Andrew Luck.
Jimmy, who was in that draft class?
Kilo ass man.
Who were the quarterbacks taken ahead of him?
Andy Dalton, Andrew Luck, RG3.
Everybody.
Kirk
No,
Cousins.
that wasn't Dalton that draft. It wasn't Dalton. Dalton was with Cam Newton.
Dalton was in there.
So it was Luck, RG3,
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
Nick Foles.
Nick Foles, but I know that.
So now it goes Luck, probably Luck, Nick Foles, and then Russell Wilson. And the other guy already.
In my rankings, I had Russell Wilson a couple ticks in front of
I got to take Russell Wilson over a guy
over
like
Nick.
All I'm saying,
I can see that.
Only thing I was saying is what Kuiper said was Kuiper said if he was a little bit taller, he would have been ahead of even Andrew Luck, and he said that. And everybody knows how highly touted Andrew Luck was. Right. That's what Kuiper's word. Kuiper's talking. No, he said it during the draft before he got drafted.
I remember that too. I remember that too.
Because when he said that, I was like, damn. I was like, dude, that nice.
Well, and here's the thing.
He was on Luck Monkey for like 3 seasons.
Here's the thing as well with Russell Wilson. Unlike Drew Brees, who's probably a cool 5'11", Russell Wilson's closer to that 5'10" range.
So he's like your height.
He's a little bit tall. He's about an inch taller than me. I'm a little shorter than him. So.
Ain't nothing wrong with being short. I mean, short
Y'all
dudes.
dudes crazy, man. Y'all dudes crazy.
All right, well, let's move on to another game, man. This one might have come it definitely came as a surprise to me because I had the Saints basically running away with this division. Falcons 37-34 over the Saints in overtime. Hey Hutch, I know you. This was one of the games that you were interested in. Were you surprised by this? Who did you have winning before it started?
To be honest, I was this actually was a good game though. I actually had the Saints winning.
Me too.
I thought that Brees was gonna go out there and they was gonna do the thing. But you also can't count out the Falcons though. They had a good last season. Wasn't really, but 2012.
I tried to skip last season.
Right. Last season they came into the season as
they were one of the
contenders, and then it just all fell apart.
They had a lot of injuries though.
Yeah,
Hutch
said 2013's in the cut.
Yeah. That's in the cut. But you know what though, Hutch, you are right. They got a lot of their talent back because they had a lot of injuries last year. But Dev is right too. Coming into last season, they're one of the favorites. I actually picked the Falcons, and I told you mine was based on nothing but falling for watching Hard Knocks, and you start rooting for the players and whatnot.
Started out kind of shaky, Jim.
Yeah, so
uh-oh.
Shout out to friend of the War Room, Robert McClain, getting plucky.
Robert McClain definitely got an interception. Drew Brees. That's the friend of the show. So anyway, man, but it was definitely a good game. It's one of the better games. And it's like nobody's defense played other than interceptions. Nobody's defense really played. The offense, it was like shootout, basically a shootout. And Julio Jones is something else, man. Like you can see the difference he makes.
He's the breakout guy on that team.
But the thing about football is a lot of times it's not even the plays where you touch the ball. When you watch the attention, some of the elite receivers like a Calvin Johnson, Julio Johnson, everybody else, Roddy White was getting just like one-on-one looks and was cooking cats just because they were doubling up on Julio. So it makes Roddy White even more effective. And they're gonna be a scary team if they can stay healthy.
What you're saying is when Julio runs, he take like 3 or 4 people with him.
More or less.
What I've noticed with the Falcons as well as also with Lions they've taken the route of how the Colts built their offense. Complete all offense, no defense. We can win in the shootout. Give us the ball at the end of the game. And Matt Bryant, I know the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are still kicking themselves for letting him go.
Yeah.
Because he's probably one of the most clutch kickers I've seen in a long time, and I never like leaving it up to a kicker.
I mean, to be honest, I wasn't really surprised about the outcome. I mean, anytime you get those division rivals, there's always a chance for an quote unquote upset. I mean, if you want to go on the fact that the Saints probably not as good as they were last year because they lost a few people. They're still trying to replace Darren Sproles, even though Brandon Cooks did a wonderful job, this past Sunday. And if you want to, and then obviously the Falcons are a lot better with all the people they got back. I mean, it's not like. It wasn't like the Bills over the Bears kind of an upset. I mean, it's a division rival. There's always a chance.
Dolphins over the Patriots.
Don't remind me.
The whole time during that game, I was just picturing like Jimmy like at his television, like rooting for like the 8th wide receiver to like get in the game that like he watched on Hard Knocks. Just like,
absolutely,
get him,
absolutely.
You know all the bums and the fringe players.
I know all the bums. Yeah, because those are the ones they focus on during the Hard Knocks.
During the kickoffs, like Jimmy's just watching like number 57 during the kickoff, see how he gets down the field, like
I was rooting for my man Willie Moe. I was looking for Willie Moe to make some plays, man.
I will say during that game.
The Bills and the Bears upset, man. I don't think I remember anybody on the panel taking the Bills to win that game.
No, not at all.
I don't think even the Bills took the Bills to win that
game. What happened? Why did this happen? And tell me.
Let me be the first to say that.
Oh, God.
When you have a quarterback.
Oh, God.
Does this
Cutler
change anything you think about Chicago?
Cutler did Cutler things.
Yeah, you want to know what's funny about Bios and Troll and Fred is that the reason why the Bears lost the game is really because like when you have a quarterback like Jay Cutler, like he will lose you a game. Like that's actually what happened on the field.
Frank, I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it 100 because Dev and I are in the same place. Pause with Jay Cutler. Like I don't think Jay Cutler is a bad quarterback, and I think talent-wise he has elite talent, but he doesn't have elite mental, and those like 4 or 5 or 6 WTF moments in a game. It depends upon who they're playing and how their defense is playing to be able to get over those and get past. And this was one of those games where Cutler did Cutler things, and now Jimmy Williams is going to get on here and flame him out because with every right, because Cutler did Cutler things. The sad fact in Chicago is this: they have the talent at quarterback and the pieces to go very far. I'm not going to say be a Super Bowl contender, but it all depends upon Jay Cutler's discipline and consistency, and that's a terrible place to be when the dude is like 31, 32 years old and 10 years in. Like, you shouldn't have to think about his maturity, his discipline, and things of that nature. And they don't have the type of defense. The D is good, but it's not the type of defense where it can erase Cutler doing Cutler things.
All right, here's my thing, Beyonce.
That gets you losing. You lose to the Bills because of that.
Yo, here's my thing. I'm not even going to flame broil kill this guy. The bottom line is, like you said, he has elite level talent and he is a mental midget. So therefore, he's probably going to win you some games that you probably shouldn't win. But at the same token, he's also going to lose you. He's going to lose you just as many games.
That was a game. He lost them.
I don't see them winning a title with him at quarterback for that reason. I mean, unless he just goes on a run in the playoffs and goes crazy. But it's like at the most inopportune time he's going to do. It's like Tony Romo, because
I was just gonna say Tony
Romo
have those moments.
Yeah, Tony Romo has elite level talent, but he always makes that one decision at the worst time. It's like Tony picks in the first quarter, yo.
But you know what else, Jimmy? They're definitely not going to win a championship with Jay Cutler if they're having him throw 50 times a game. Like, there's really no excuse in a close game against the Buffalo Bills for Jay Cutler to be throwing 49 times and you only give Matt Forte the ball 17 times. Like, that's play calling right there. Like, I don't understand. It's not like they were being blown out and they're trying to throw to catch up. Like, they're in a close game. Like, it's a one-possession game the whole game, and you're
that's 2014 football. Sense. That's 2014 football. You look around the league, everybody was chucking it up. Nobody runs the ball no more.
Even a team like the Patriots, who their identity, they're trying to change their identity to being a running team. But Tom Brady should not be throwing 50-plus passes. Joe Flacco. The Ravens shouldn't be throwing 50-plus passes.
Yo, that's 2014 NFL.
But you know what? Neither one of those teams have anybody comparable to Matt Forte as a running back. Like, Shane Vereen is not Matt Forte. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's just crazy.
Frank brings the best. Frank brings about the best point, because a lot of this does come down now to coaching, because there's only 4 guys, and we know who those 4 guys are. We don't have to even mention the names. There's only 4 guys that you want to depend on their arm, and it doesn't matter if you drop them back 40 times, 50 times, 70 times, 80 times in a game, you'll live with it. Outside of those 4 guys, you shouldn't be dropping Matt Stafford back. As good as he is, talent, Cutler, Romo, and that's the problem in Dallas. They rely so heavily
and the crazy
on
thing
Romo and blame it on him when his defense is some shit cakes.
Here's the crazy thing about Dallas. The crazy thing about Dallas was their defense didn't play half bad, and their running game looked okay. I mean, DeMarco.
They didn't give him the ball now.
They go away from DeMarco Murray.
Yes, they run away from him.
At one point in the game, he was averaging 6 yards a pop every time he got the ball. We didn't give him the ball for like 5 straight plays. What are you doing?
That was their MO last year. That was their whole MO.
But you
have a running back who's not bad. And
this is 2014 football. I watched Josh Freeman drop back 50 times last season. And he had
190 yards.
Yo,
6 for 50.
So, and that's my point. My point is, right, the way these coaches play now, they actually throw the pass to set up the run. That sounds so backwards. You know what I mean? When you talk about how football was once played, but the rules dictate that, the analytics and the rules dictate you pass the ball this much.
Because it's not like the defense is allowed to tackle, so it's like you might as well throw the ball.
That's a whole other thing. But the one thing I want to say, Dev, in terms of week 1 observations, there was a lot of great kicks. Like the kickers were on the ball this past weekend. Like he mentioned Matt Bryant, but there's a lot of other kickers too. The first 1:00 games, it was a bunch of 45 and 50-yard field goals that were just money. And I was like, damn, and a lot of these are young kickers too, so the kicking was on point. That's one observation.
Eagles might have a young, nice little
Eagles got their first touchback in like 3 years.
He kicked the end zone all day. I was surprised about that.
If I had to say,
man, before we get to the biggest upset, are the Vikings this good? Because 34-6 over the Rams. We know the problems that the Rams, have starting the season. This is a team who scored 34 points and didn't have to chuck it 60 times. What do you guys think? Because I hear a lot of people changing their opinion already. Like, the Vikings could be a playoff team, and I don't see that after 1 week because you blew out the Rams.
No. It's the Rams, man. It's a team without their quarterback, and I'm one of the people. I actually feel like their defense is their defensive line makes that team so much better than they really are. That secondary, their secondary is one guy, Janoris Jenkins. That's it. And realistically, if their pass rush isn't getting home, then they're pretty much toast. Because their offense, you have your best receiver is Tavon Austin, a slot receiver who doesn't touch the ball enough.
Right.
Yo, my thing is this.
And you're depending on a running back named Benny, by the way.
I was impressed by their play calling. The Vikings had some solid play calling for the first time in like 4 or 5 years. And their defense was tough. I mean, I'm not ready to jump on the Vikings bandwagon yet, but
until Teddy Bridgewater get in.
They look a lot better than Frank's Bucks. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm still not ready to jump on them.
Man,
how do you lose a game against Derek Anderson, by the way?
I don't listen. I don't overreact.
Derek Anderson hasn't played in like 2 years.
Quarterback.
I never overreact or underreact. Like, I just stay pat after 1 week is what I do. Like, I'm not going to overreact by anything I see in week 1. Like, first of all, when you have a backup quarterback, you're automatically, like, the team automatically gets pumped up for the backup quarterback. We've seen that time and time again, so I'm not going to –
Kelvin Benjamin can't catch a cold.
Obviously, it's a bad sign. But as far as the Vikings
or run past anyone.
As far as the Vikings go, I was very impressed with the Vikings. I thought they played very well. I think the Rams are probably one of the worst lower teams in the league, and I thought that before the season started, even with Sam Bradford. I don't know why people were like, "Oh my God, Sam Bradford's down. What are we going to do now?" I mean, he wasn't that good to begin with. But I mean, the Vikings have a lot of weapons, and you can't dismiss Norv Turner as the offense coordinator. I think that is a big factor. Like, Norv Turner, like, he was a laughable head coach, but as an offensive coordinator, like, the guy knows what he's doing offensively. So you can't ever dismiss that.
Design and scheme.
Yeah, I agree with you, Frank. It's like they kept trying to make him a head coach, and he just couldn't get that done. But as a coordinator, he's one of the best. It's like a mechanic who gets promoted to being a manager, but he's only good at working on cars. He's only good on working on cars, but he can't manage people. They try to make him a manager because he's so good at working on cars. Like, let him work on the cars, and he's good at it because their play calling was a lot better than it has been.
And there are a lot of guys around the league that are exactly like that.
You know what's encouraging too is that like Adrian Peterson didn't even like go off. You know,
Yeah.
he was nice. He was Adrian Peterson, but like he didn't have anything crazy. So I mean, and you still blew them out. So
Yeah.
The Vikings are one of those teams where, just as we kind of talked about a couple minutes ago, the league is now going to a place where it's pass first, pass second, pass third, and then run the ball.
The Vikings on the pass.
The Vikings are more of a conventional team in that they're running to set up the pass. And with that, you kind of bring stability based on the fundamentals of football. So when you have that balance, you can, like, I don't think they're a good team, but I think that they have solid fundamentals and good play design with Norv Turner as an offensive coordinator. So there's certain principles that can be injected into their game plans where they can have success. And then let's face it, you got OBM back there running the ball, and you've got Corduroy, who doesn't even know how to play football yet, but Corduroy Patterson is OBM as well. So it's like with those two types of players, you open the field up for Greg Jennings to work underneath, work the middle of the field. You open it up for the tight end. Your quarterback isn't necessarily that good. Either your starter or your backup, if you're the Vikings, isn't that good. So what you you're able to still design plays that will be successful around the personnel that you have, so you can win games. I can see them falling somewhere between 7 and 9, and maybe getting lucky at 9 and 7 because of those things. It's not that they're a good team. They're not going to get any run with the elite teams, but they can win games they're supposed to win, and they can sneak away with some they're not. So
Austin said all that they're gonna lose by 50 this week.
having such a good running game will help them in the long run, especially when it gets colder in the later months in November and December. Mainly because teams don't do it anymore, and they're conditioned to do so. And then on top of that, they're in a cold weather city, so that really they're conditioned for that.
Oh, the Vikings don't play in a dome?
No,
they're not this year.
They're playing outside.
They're playing outside.
Okay.
They're playing at the University of Minnesota Stadium.
Oh, that's right. They're not playing.
No.
Okay.
And I've been in Minnesota in December. I swear to y'all.
Yes, it's
I'm not saying it's the coldest place in the world, but it's the coldest place I've ever been. Minnesota in December ain't no joke. Hey, but listen, Jimmy said that they might lose by 50 this week. That could be possible because they're running up against a Patriots team who might be a little bit upset.
No, they won't lose by.
Why did Fred's Patriots lose to the Dolphins, and why did they lose by double digits? And why was Tom Brady under siege?
Because Fred is their #1 fan.
Fred, how big do you think losing Logan Mankins is to this?
I think that's huge, but I think it's also karma from Fred bragging about his game on Thursday night. So the football guys wanted the humble Fred.
I got humbled, man. I got humbled.
So it's all Fred's fault. But also Miami was pumped up for Week 1. It's like the Frank Santos theory. They were pumped up for Week 1. They have a young team.
They was all in for Week 1.
They was all in for Week 1.
I will say
about 45 next time, but
I will say in that game, Ryan Tannehill didn't look half bad.
No, he didn't.
And I've been one of the people that have.
He was effing
y'all up. We didn't say his name.
He was in that draft too.
Yeah, he was effing y'all up. He was effing y'all up pretty good.
Yeah, for me, I'm a Tom Brady fan here, and I can honestly, watch it.
Come on, let me finish.
But for me, even me, just being objective here, I can honestly say Tom Brady didn't look great in that game. He overthrew some passes. He actually there was a play. Yeah, he was
pressure bust
big time on the left side of that line was just bad.
He held the ball too long at a couple.
He had a play. It was in the third quarter. He had enough time. He sat there. He brushed his teeth. He went and had a cup of coffee with Giselle, and he still overthrew Edelman, who was wide open. And I'm sorry, but maybe just maybe Tom Brady's slightly eroding. It's one game, but Tom Brady's his father time starting to finally get out.
Tom Brady is so legendary people are so shocked when he has a bad game, but I've seen Tom Brady have plenty of bad games. He just does so much, you know, and a lot of times he has.
Tom Brady does struggle against Miami, though. The Patriots and under Tom Brady have historically
trying to give him the Heat excuse. The
Heat. I mean, no.
To be honest, like, yeah, we can talk about Brady all we want, but the most troubling part was really the defense. Like, the defense is. Like, the Patriots' defense has always been, like, low-key good. Like, you don't notice it because Tom Brady's always, like, doing Tom Brady things, but the Patriots' defense is kind of one of those defense that get stops at the right times and all that stuff. Like, but, I mean, they gave up, like, 140 yards to no Sean Moreno. You know what I mean? Like, he was running all over them. Like, that's
without center Mike Pouncey.
Even Lamar Miller was killing him. Lamar Miller scored on him, too.
Yeah, I mean, and that
taking turns dipping him up.
Like, that was the big thing last year. They were like, you know, once we get Vince Wilfork back and we get this line back together, and like, everybody's back, and what's going on? Like, that the first week is not a good sign. And I mean, it was really the story of two halves. I mean, the Dolphins outscored the Patriots 23-0 in the second half, and that's unexcusable. I mean, it almost seems like the Patriots might have got a little comfortable. You know, you go into halftime, I think they had like a 27 lead, 20-10 lead. Like, you're like, okay, you know, same old Dolphins, we're going to run over them like we always do, and then
they gave up a field goal going in, and it was actually 17-7 going into the half, and the Dolphins just drove down the field. And the crazy thing is they ran the ball. They physically they manhandled the Patriots.
You hit it on the head. I mean, Tom Brady the way he plays the game, Tom Brady has another 10 years left if he so chooses.
Damn.
The bottom line.
Brady doesn't get hit. He really doesn't.
The bottom line is the way that squad is built. It's built in the trenches. So as their offensive line and as their defensive line goes, Tom Brady is able to work magic with the skill position players on offense, and that D line is able to cover over any deficiencies they have at linebacker or on the back line. I mean, Teddy Bruschi and the other dudes, Vrabel, they were bum sauce, but because of that system that they played in, it was an amazing system based on that front line. And I don't see the talent in the trenches with the Patriots any longer. So it exposes, or it's able to expose the weaknesses that Brady has. It's not that I'm saying he's not one of the all-time greats, but if you press him, if you get pressure on him like any pocket passing, non-athletic, non-mobile quarterback, when you give him pressure, I mean, I'm not hating the same anybody. They have to invest in the line, the trenches. So Logan Mankins being hurt is big. Them not having developed.
Logan Mankins is on another team.
He ain't on a different team.
He's on another team.
I think he's hurt too, but he's just hurting Tim.
The one thing I will say about the Patriots and their offense, it makes me just I know this term just doesn't sound great, but it grinds my gears to know that Bill Belichick will not draft an elite receiver that has elite speed.
For what?
Because yes, you do. Because if you haven't noticed, since the Patriots had Randy Moss, who could take the top off of a defense, Gronk cannot do that.
Right.
Julian Edelman cannot do that.
Fred. Who was the elite receiver on the Seahawks last year? Who was the elite receiver on the Seahawks last year?
That isn't their game going down the field.
No, my point is most of these elite receivers don't win championships.
They don't.
Randy Moss don't have a ring. Calvin Johnson don't have a ring. The last one don't have a ring. Most of the elite receivers don't. Larry Fitzgerald don't have a ring.
Honestly, the bottom line of this whole thing. The bottom line of this whole thing is that like Bill Belichick was about to change the game with like those two tight ends, and Aaron Hernandez like ruined the whole play. Basically, Aaron Hernandez was the better one to team, Like the Patriots were changing the whole aspect of how you play football with those two athletic big tight ends that you could not match up against, and then Aaron Hernandez went on and I don't know what the hell he was doing.
He murdered someone.
He ruined the whole plan. That was like the David Stern. That was like the David Stern CP3 veto trade. That was exactly what happened. They were about to change the game and he just vetoed.
Pyru said Miller Gangsters.
This is for me.
Throw it up, throw it in.
As good as Julian Edelman is in the slot, as injured as Danny Amendola is, and how useless he can be at times, Gronk is a great tight end. He's a top 3 tight end. But you have to have someone on the outside to take away, like Julio Jones, who can draw double, triple, and quadruple coverages at times. You got to have someone that that the defense fears, and the Patriots have not had that since Randy Moss. And at that time, Randy Moss was not elite, a great receiver. He ran one route, just like Mike Wallace. He runs one route. But that one route is the most dangerous route in the NFL.
Traction on Randy Moss? How you gonna trash on Randy Moss? Crazy.
I mean, I'm not saying he's not. I'm not at that point in his career. Randy Moss wasn't an elite receiver anymore. He was faster than everyone else. You run one route, just like Mike Wallace. When you can get behind a defense, you have to respect that. Now, the Jets.
I gotta respect the guy that can't catch.
The Jets had the formula to stop the Patriots. You condense the field, make him have to make the offense have to go 10 plays, 12 plays, 15 plays. You're gonna make a mistake eventually, and that's what they're doing.
Just to close this all up, like the magic of the NFL is that like no matter how many people like have CTE or how many left hooks are being thrown in elevators, like if the fact that the Minnesota Vikings can be 2-0 and the Patriots can be 0-2 next week is exactly why football will never die, because like you can't get that anywhere else. Like in any other sport, like
not at all.
It's the magic of the NFL.
We can't close this out though. I've got to dispel this rumor. This myth that Frank is putting out there that you got to have a 4.2, take the top off the defense type of dude. That's definitely not the case.
Look at the Super Bowl winners. No Super Bowl winner. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's definitely not the case. I think that it's something that as a good coach or a good offensive coordinator, you can find ways to use it. But if you don't have that, you can design plays and schemes to beat defenses without having those super elite athletes based on
execution. Don't have to have it, but at the same time,
based on execution. None of those guys have rings. None of those guys.
Who do you have? Who do the Patriots have right now in their wide receiving core? Who do they have that scares you? Julian Edelman doesn't scare me.
I wasn't scared of nobody on Seattle either.
I'm going to be honest.
I wasn't Troy Brown, David Gibbons.
When y'all won the championship, y'all had nobody that scared me.
This is true.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Hey, Jimmy, if I was a Patriots fan,
and look at the Super Bowl winners, Fred, all these great receivers, none of them have ever won anything.
The position is too dependent, man.
There's
nothing without everything else happening.
For me, when you like
people
you
put
said,
too much emphasis on it.
For me, this is just me, and as a Patriot fan, I see Belichick every time he drafts a receiver, they don't work out, so I can understand why he won't. But at the same time, it helps Tom Brady out. And
I get what you're saying though, because the Patriots
he took a pay cut to get more help, and they bring in guys
are one of the teams that have a lot of receiver turnover. So I mean, I get what you're saying, because they have receivers for like 1 and 2 years, and then they're going. Look, man, last game, and y'all talk about this one real quick before we just do our 6 picks and be out of here. Are the Eagles not as good as people think they are, or was this just week 1 jitters? You know.
I'll start and I'll be brief.
First half, 17-0.
I thought people were crazy. I thought people were crazy that thought the Eagles were going to go 11-5. I think every team in the NFC East is the same amount of mediocre, like 8-8, 9-7. Just depends on how the divisional games turn out. Really, I think the team with the best divisional record is going to win, because I think that's going to be the difference maker. But I don't think the Eagles are all that good. I mean, they were good enough to beat the Jaguars, but that doesn't really say much.
Because I never really felt, even down 17-0, I never really felt threatened because it was the Jags, you know.
And you're at home.
But I don't know.
We lose at home.
I might have had to pack that up at halftime, but I knew the Jags were going to turn back into the Jags at some point.
For me, and like I said last week, the Jaguars aren't as bad as they seem. They have some pieces. But the Eagles, over their depth, is what gives them the advantage in that type of game. Yeah. They can come back because of that offense they have. The Jaguars just don't have the horses to run with Chip Kelly's offense.
Think about it, like the spark, the catalyst of the comeback was the backup running back. Darren Sproles was
right.
And that's what they brought him there for. They
actually
the guy
being
that
a
can
running
start
back
the team.
too, not just being a receiver. He did it running.
49-yard
So,
touchdown
was
on
impressive.
4th and 1, yeah. 4th and 1, 49-yard touchdown. Longest run of his career, surprisingly, but because he's usually catching it or on special teams returning it. But it was scary to see. I mean, you guys know me and B. Austin. We're never overly optimistic about the Eagles in the first place. That's why.
And watch this week. We got blow someone out by 30.
That's why Eagles fans hate us just as much as fans of rival teams, because we keep it objective when we talk about them. And that game, it was kind of scary. At the same time, I would implore Eagles fans not to be in panic mode after 30 minutes of the season has gone by. It is week 1. Some teams come out in mid-season form. Some teams don't. So, it was 30 minutes. I think they're going to get a little better. Like, Frank, I never really gave them a record prediction. I didn't really see the 11-5 either. But, maybe more like a 10-6 because of that division. But it scares me when I'm listening to other shows and they're talking about the Eagles as a Super Bowl contender. They might be the ones to be able to.
That's crazy. That's just crazy.
That is spooky talk. That is
a couple things. The national media is in love with Chip Kelly, so that's one.
That's true.
They have a love affair with Chip Kelly. But Darren Sproles is like, it's amazing what kind of impact he makes on any team he goes to. And I just want to tip my hat to Shady. Get it, tip? Anyway, I want to tip my hat to Shady because, he seems to be a good sport with it all because he's taking a lot of his touches, but I think it's for the, for the good of the team. And I think this week will be telling. They got a tough game ahead of them. They got a national game, a tough game against the Colts. So let's see how they start this game.
Wait, hold on. Can I get my 20 cents? No.
Go ahead, get your 20 cents. So we can go to our games of the week.
All right, let's go.
All right, so let's take games of the week. I got 6 games here. Just tell us. Go down the line. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm gonna say the same thing. I picked us to win the division at 9-7. At 9-7. Because we're not an elite team.
That's what I was thinking too. 9-7.
We're not an elite team, but I've looked around the rest of the division. I feel like Dallas is stuck in the mud. They're the same. They're bumsaws. I think that basically the Redskins traded away every pick that they'll ever have for a burger and fries at quarterback. So their defense,
Good call.
Their defense is much improved.
Bielsa's lifting souls right now.
They got a lot of talent on defense, which kind of scares me. But I don't think they're going to get the production offensively that they think. So they're still a mediocre team to me. They're an 8-8, 7-9 team. And then the Giants. The Giants are kind of the wild horse. You know what happens when my man Coughlin gets on the hot seat. So I'm a little scared there. But just outside looking in, they don't scare me either. I just think we're the worst division in football again.
Why don't they just threaten his job every year? Like, I would try that. I would just try just to see if it's real.
So now when we play real teams like the Colts, we're gonna get exposed. And Chip Kelly is.
All right, well, let's go over the game though. Yo, B. Austin got the whole NFL either 9-7 or 7-9.
Something gotta give, yo. Some people gotta be, those records gotta balance out. All right, so,
there's levels to this.
The Thursday night game, after all the controversy of the week. I mean, Ray Rice wasn't going to play in this game anyway with the original punishment, but you got, the team coming off all the distraction, or maybe it'll motivate them. I don't know. Steelers, Ravens, B. Austin, who you got?
I got the Ravens. I got the Ravens winning, and that has nothing to do with Ray Rice. Bernard Pierce had already jacked his job. And
Justin Forsett about to jack his.
Yeah, I'm about to say Justin Forsett, they run it back.
Oh, man.
Pierce is still number 2.
Frank, who you got?
I just want to shout out Ray Rice for becoming the face of domestic violence in a 12-hour period about something that happened 6 months ago. I don't even know how that happens, but it did. I got the Steelers. I got the Steelers because I mean I picked them to win the division, and I think it's a big game for them. I mean, Steelers Ravens is always crazy, and I got Big Ben.
Big Ben and the Steelers. Fred, who you got?
I'm going with Frank, man. I gotta go with the Steelers. I picked the Steelers to win this division, and I think this team is gonna be up. They're gonna be up on the defensive side. Big Ben, they put up points, and Antonio Brown is that guy for them.
Jimmy.
Yo, I think this game can go one or two ways. Either the Ravens can, come together and win this game on some emotional stuff, or they can get blown out the building, and it's going to be completely embarrassing to everybody. I mean, but with that being said, I'm going to take the Ravens to beat. I shouldn't say. I'm going to take the Ravens to win the game against the Steelers.
Can they use the term hit you?
I didn't even catch that until just now.
Frank, man, I got bars, Frank. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
hey, can they even use the term? We gonna hit them in the mouth. Can we be physical? How's that speech gonna go?
Hutch, who you got, Steelers or Ravens?
I don't think they're gonna rally. The Ravens, that is. And I think the Steelers are just going to come in and do what they do. I think, personally, I like Ben over Joe Flacco. So,
Hutch, you also live near Pittsburgh too, man. So I just want to put that out there, man.
Closer to Pittsburgh than
I just want to put that out there, man.
Somebody's bleeding golden ball.
I got the Ravens winning this one. Joe Flacco's only going to have to chuck it 46 times. You got Pearson Forsett back there doing work. Defense gonna step up, and they got statue of Ray Ray. They got Ray Ray outside, so if everybody come in and
can't let their dad down.
Slap his
no weapon, man. No weapon.
Also, Smith Senior is still a beast, yo. Smith Senior played with an attitude at 50 years old.
Yo, he was monstrous that game. What's wrong with him?
All right, Falcons versus the Bengals. I'll pick this one first. I'm going to go with the Bengals, man. I don't know why, even when the Falcons were good, Jimmy and B, y'all remember how I never really...
Oh, yeah, you never believed in them.
I know I don't believe in them right now. They got to show me and prove a little more. So I'm going to go with the Bengals in this one. Hutch, who you got, Falcons or Bengals?
Well, shout out to my lower third, probably code up.
50 minutes into the video.
Right? You know what? I'm going with the Bengals. I like the Bengals, and I think that the Falcons, they will do better than last year, but I still think the Bengals are superior. So.
When I kind of look at these teams.
You're right, because they were poop.
I think these are two of the most similar teams in the league. So I expect it to be a good game, but I got the Bengals. Jimmy, who you got? Falcons, Bengals. I know who you got.
Man, look, man, rise up, man. Rise up, man. Let's go.
16-0.
Oh gosh, they're gonna go 16-0 and they're gonna win a Super Bowl.
Rise up, man.
Hard knock.
Hard Knocks do that every year.
Yo, every year I fall for it, Hutch. Every year.
All right, Fred, Falcons, Bengals.
I gotta go with the Bengals too. I don't believe in these cardiac Falcons. This happened 2 years ago. 2 years ago, they won games just like this, and they got all the way to the NFC title game, but they couldn't handle it.
Remember the year before that?
NFC title game though.
Remember the year before that when they were so good, and then the Packers.
Exactly, they got drew.
Yeah.
Give me the Bengals.
You think the playoffs though, man?
Give me the Bengals simply for their defense, and I think Andy Dalton will come through for it.
I'll take the Bengals because I like their helmets. Frank.
Yeah. I also got the Bengals. I think the Falcons were a little just hyped up for that game against the Saints. I don't think that's the representation of the Falcons for the whole season. I think they're going to get some hard knocks this week against the Bengals. That rebuttal.
I got the Bengals. I got the Bengals for 3 reasons. Number one, they played defense where the Saints didn't. Number 2, they are very similar, and I think that them playing defense is going to make the difference. So that's still point number 1. That's 1B. And then lastly, they gave that kid his job after they cut him. After they saw job back, so 16-0. 16-0 for
that's
the
good
Bengals.
karma, man. I want the game ending in a tie now, man.
Yeah. McNabb isn't playing in this game.
Yo, the Bengals were a part of that tie fiasco.
I know.
Stay with you, B. Austin. Seahawks are visiting the Chargers. What's going on? Seahawks, Chargers.
I got the Chargers.
Okay.
You tripping.
I really like the Chargers this year. I think that heartbreak on Monday night, and Seahawks might be a little cocky with their performance in the first week. I got the Chargers.
Fred, who you got?
I gotta take the Seahawks. Short week for the Chargers. The Seahawks have had some rest. They've heard all the talking. They've heard people like us. The Seahawks they're not ready.
I mean, they heard us say that Sherman ain't going to guard Keenan Allen.
Yeah. For me, Pete Carroll is a great motivator, and he keeps his teams ready to play. For a guy that's almost in his 70s, the dude is you wouldn't know.
I'm about to say he damn sure is that old. He don't look old at all.
Yeah,
that's because he smoked that loud.
He get them young yams. He tills those young gardens. Damn farmer.
No, really, okay.
Yeah, we're moving, man.
Yeah, you got to keep moving. Hutch, who you got?
This is on like 90 minutes.
I'm going Seahawks.
Yeah, I'll be brief too. No analysis, Seahawks, yo.
Word.
Yo, I'm just like Frank. I really like the Chargers, but the Seahawks gonna win this game. Bears, 49ers. I think I'm going to go with the 49ers with this one. I think the Bears have a lot to play for. There's no must-wins in Week 2, but I do think the Bears are going to be in a really tough division that they can't afford to blow these games. But this is probably a game I would have picked the Niners in the first place. They shouldn't have lost to the Bills. So 0-2 it is for the Chicago Bears. Hutch, you got Bears or 49ers?
I'm going to go with the Niners because Cutler doesn't have a Beats commercial. So
he ain't the man. Jimmy.
Yo, when you have a quarterback like Jay Cutler.
You didn't think what I was gonna say.
So here's my thing though. I'm also picking the Niners. I just think the Niners are a better team this year. That's all. Even going through all the stuff they're going through, they still have some players in that team. And Hyde is the truth, yo.
Yeah,
it's only a matter of time before Francis MH has to just let that man get his shine, yo.
Yeah, I mean, because that situation is one of those situations right now. Hyde is going to be the guy who rests Frank Gore up, but he's eventually next year probably.
He's that guy. He's the next guy.
Replace that dude.
It's like when you watch them play, like Frank Gore runs is okay, but it's like they push the turbo button when he comes in. You realize how slow Frank Gore is because he's them young legs.
Yeah.
Pause.
Fred, you got Bears, Niners.
Well, with a quarterback like Jay Cutler, I expect him to lose this game because he's gonna make some. I could see some.
John Kerry, you flip-flopped his ass, dude.
John Kerry.
I could see 2 picks in this game, two bad picks. One in the beginning of the game that goes for 6, and another one that cost him the game.
Now Jay Cutler gonna bust their ass because Fred turned on him.
I know.
Cutler gonna throw 500 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Jay, dude, he flipped on you quick, man. Flipped on you.
Give me the 49ers, man. Give me the 49ers, and they're gonna run the ball down the Bears' throat.
Frank, who you got?
I got the Niners.
B. Austin.
Niners, man, they're beastly on offense and more beastly on defense than I thought they would be with all the injuries and bullshit going on.
Stevie Johnson, man. Why so serious?
Yo, Stevie Johnson is not even on a roster in my fantasy league. It's crazy.
Sure.
But B. Austin, we're gonna stay with you for the last game, the Monday Nighter. Your Eagles going to visit Lucas Oil Stadium and those Indianapolis Colts. My Eagles against my Colts. Y'all know how that go.
Yeah, it's that AFC team.
Listen, man. Listen.
I'm slowly trading.
When your luck turns and luck is against you, it just is what it is. And I haven't seen the Eagles beat the Colts and Blaine Bishop was playing strong safety.
All right, Frank, who you got? Eagles, Colts.
I got the Colts, even though I'm extremely uncomfortable with the fact that it looked like Andrew Luck was playing 1-on-11 against the Broncos the other night. So that's a little discomforting. I gotta say, but
He's been playing 1-on-11 for 2 years already, though. So.
yeah, but
we ain't the Broncos, Frank. Trust me.
Right, and that's exactly. And be honest, I'm glad you said that because that's the exact reason why I'm picking the Colts, because the Eagles are not the Broncos.
Yeah, sure. Yo, Andrew Luck can beat us by himself. Our defense is not stopping Andrew Luck.
Yo, we let an undrafted rookie Hurst.
Yo, he's gonna be out the league. He's gonna be out the league in 3 weeks.
Fred, who you got? Eagles, Colts.
I really don't like either one of these defenses, but I really
one is gonna break.
Which one? But I really think that tempo is gonna just gonna wear those Colts out. Andrew Luck is gonna be throwing a lot of passes because they can't run the football, and Chip Kelly.
Remember, everybody, this is an NFL show, but he's a college guy.
So he loves.
When it comes to Chip Kelly and his tempo and all that college crap.
Actually, I am not the biggest fan of Chip Kelly.
But you're taking the Eagles, nonetheless. You're taking the Eagles, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yo, shout out to Alan Hurns, who's going to be at his factory job 3 weeks from now, talking to the rest of the crew how he lit up the Eagles one week.
Hey, by the way, yes.
Who are you talking about?
Alan Hurns, undrafted out of.
I didn't know Utah had an NFL team. Go ahead, Jim.
Utah.
Yo, here's the thing, right? Watching the Colts play, I was actually interested in seeing how whether Trent Richardson was on his way out the league or whether he can have a good season, considering he's had a full camp with the Colts. He's going to get his touches, but by the time the game started, they were already down by 17, so they stopped running the ball altogether. Like, he didn't get back in.
He has no value in the passing game.
He has no value in the passing game, so they took him out. They took him out, and he didn't get back into like the fourth quarter. But what's scary to me about this is the Eagles didn't play that bad against the run, but against the pass, they look putrid, and they're going against Andrew Luck and Reggie Wayne. And the Colts have the home field. I have to go with the Colts. I think it'll be a good game. I'm hoping for a good game because the Colts defense stinks as well. So, Shady and the X Factor Sproles, because, I told you, Sproles is that dude.
The Eagles defense waits too long to start playing.
So I think the Colts may win 72-65.
Now watch, it's going to be a defensive game.
I know, Fred.
T.Y. Hilton is a piece of trash.
Dang.
Whoa! Who gonna guard him?
Whoa!
Who gonna check?
Bielsa's trashing everybody.
T.Y. Hilton. T.Y. be disrespecting my man Luck. He be putting the ball right in his helmet grill.
T.Y. might catch for 200 yards against that secondary, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's us, though.
Is T.Y. better?
That's Bradley.
What I'm saying, is he better than Hurns?
Yeah, T.Y. is better than Hurns. He's better.
Who, Tommy?
No, he's not.
Tommy Hurns?
Tommy
Hitman, better than the Hitman.
Tommy the Get Hitman.
Better than the Hitman. He's not better than Hitman Holla. He made us holla.
You got Monday night Eagles Colts.
I'm going with the Colts. I think it's going to be a shootout. I don't think they're going to use, even though they should. I don't think they're going to use McCoy and Sproles as much as they should. So I think it's going to be Colts.
Only throwing to him.
Yep.
Yeah, they might throw it to him.
What's the over-under in that game, Fred? You a gambler? What's the over-under on that Eagles-Colts game?
I haven't looked. I actually haven't looked.
Yo, I just want to point out.
It's gonna be high though.
Fred has Al Davis's blood running through his veins. If you fast,
what?
Automatically thinks you good. Like if you fast, you good. T.Y. Hilton is garbage.
Right, because he took Richard Sherman to the woodshed.
He can't run routes. He just runs, and he's little, and he drops passes.
Well, I know my Eagles fans gonna be mad at me, of course, but I got the Colts in this one. I hope I'm wrong.
I hope I'm wrong.
2-0, baby. but I got the Colts.
1-1.
So that's our games of the week. It's been another long-ass episode of filming. Make sure you guys subscribe to the page, like the video, leave your comments, give us your picks for the week, and give us your observations from week 1 in the NFL. Let us know situations where teams should panic or situations where teams, they're going to be all right, even if things didn't go their way. So make sure you pick up that War Room Sports mobile app. Make sure you check out Sports Kings at sports-kings.com. Check out warroomsports.com for everything we got going on here. Make sure you check out WRSPN. That's the War Room Sports Podcast Network. And our show, The War Room, you can hear Fred Perdue, our Miami Hurricanes insider for Sports Talk Florida. He gives us his games of the week in the world of college football. So if you're into that, make sure you check out the show. So like we tell you guys all the time, don't accept mediocrity. Be steadfast in the war against ignorance.
See you chumps on top.
Stop defending that dude, Ray Rice.
Kuwait, it's the War Room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys, the first